front and no promise. My wife loves that cat and wants to go all in for the treatment. Technically, we do have 21K, but that's the whole house fund. And even if the surgery works, the vet said recovery's rough. We'd need more follow-up visits, meds, maybe another procedure, could be thousands more. I tried to explain the math. You know, if we spend it, we reset the clock on the house. Now she barely talks to me.
Oh my God.
I'm going to play it all the way through, and then we'll go back and we'll respond to it. I'm going to try to make it all the way through. All right.
We've been married for 3.5 years, and we just welcomed our first baby 6 months ago. I work construction, and my wife stays home with the baby. But yeah, I'm the one bringing in the paycheck. For the last 2 years, I've been saving every extra dollar for a house down payment. Anyway, we've managed to stash about $21,000. It's not a fortune, but for us, it's huge. So here's where everything kind of went sideways. Our cat, turns out he's got this aggressive cancer on his jaw. Vet says they can try a surgery and chemo combo that might buy in time, but it's 17 grand up front and no promise. My wife loves that cat and wants to go all in for the treatment. Technically, we do have 21K, but that's the whole house fund. And even if the surgery works, the vet said recovery's rough. We'd need more follow-up visits, meds, maybe another procedure, could be thousands more. I tried to explain the math. You know, if we spend it, we reset the clock on the house. Now she barely talks to me. So yeah, I don't know what to do. I love my wife. I love our baby. Heck, I even love the cat, but I also dreamed of handing her house keys this time next year. We've been married for 3.5 years.
Man. Decisions. All right. So at first, and I think I let we got the group chat in the OG network. I let them know my emotions are first. My initial emotions. I got to keep it real. When I'm hearing this, fuck that cat. Yo, I'm sorry for all the cat lovers, for all the dog lovers, for all the pet lovers. I said that was my initial reaction. When Maya said, I'm glad we're on the same page. So this is wrong. This is a cat's life, though. This is an animal's life. Y'all know how I feel. Look, I'm an animal lover. I've never had a dog or a cat. So maybe I don't understand the bond. I know that a lot of families look at their dogs and cats as family members. However, I'm pretty sure that if the choice came down to who we need to feed, our kids or the family dog or the family cat, I would hope that, or I would think that it would be common sense. We got to prioritize the kids. Now, that brings up a question. Notice I said if the choice was to feed the kids or the dog or the cat. Now, when it comes to feeding the husband, when it comes to feeding the man, I think that it would change a little bit. And hear me out on this. See, these are the decisions. The reason why I got emotional hearing this, not because it was such a sad story, to be totally honest with y'all, regarding the cat. That's not why I got emotional. I got emotional because I'm like, damn, men have to make some of the most difficult decisions. Men have to make the decisions where, you know, instead of being a win-win, it is a lose-lose. It is a lose-lose because she loves that cat. She probably loves that cat or likes that cat, perhaps maybe more than she likes her husband. Just being honest. This just I have nothing. I've just watched the same video as y'all. So maybe I'm putting a little bit extra on it, but this is the takeaway that I got when I'm watching it. This man now has to make a decision where, let's say that he sits down and talks to her and says, hey, babe, we got to sit down. We got to talk about this. You know, even just saying that, talk about what? There's nothing to talk about. Y'all know how this combo is going to go. There's nothing to talk about. The cat needs surgery. This cat is a member of our family. Forget the house. Forget that. Well, let's just look at it and just the surgery. It may not even go well. And even if it goes well, there's going to be a long recovery process. Well, then we'll figure out when we get there. So we're going to make a decision now not to do the surgery because of what it may cost. There's going to be a level of resentment, not only just with him bringing the conversation, but if he actually if he goes through with making the decision to say, you know what, we're not going to have that surgery, his wife will forever resent him. Forever. In my opinion. This is just my opinion. Now, if he goes, let's say, the other way and says, you know what? Let's get the surgery, babe. I know how much this cat means to us, to you, to our family. Let's get the surgery and we'll figure out things later on. Now, this man just said that he's been scratching and clawing to save up $21,000. He's the only one bringing in money, and he's been saving for 2 years. If that cat has a surgery and it's going to need more money, a year from now, when he said that he was planning on presenting her keys to her dream house, to their dream house, a year from now, as soon as a house comes up, she's going to resent him, not only with the cat situation. The cat could be there. She's going to resent him for not having made more money to put away in addition to having the money for the cat fund, right? She's going to resent him for not making more money so that way, so we can't afford to take care of a pet and to have a house. Why? Because women have been convinced that they can have it all. And this is going to be a reoccurring theme in today's show. Women have been convinced that they can have it all. Now, even though I hear Maya over here, I'm pretty sure I understand where Shy would be at. Shy was on my time, like, man, forget her and the cat. But let's be honest. We know how people are with their pets. We know how certain people are with their pets, I should say. This man is in a situation that he probably can't recover from. And that is and actually, he's presented with a challenge that, in my opinion, answers a large majority of people's problems. Money. You got to just make more money. There's no other solution to this. You got to make more money. If you take on a pet, if you take on all these responsibilities, if you want to help, you got to just figure out a way to make more money, or you're going to be resented for it.
First and foremost, want to give a huge shout out to everybody that continues to tap in with us, like and subscribe and join our community. If you haven't already, please make sure that you do. We look forward to engaging in some dope convo with you that can help us all elevate. So like, subscribe, and maybe even share the video if you're feeling real generous. On that note, we'll let you get back to the video. See you soon.
It just is what it is. And does anybody disagree? Do I hear any disagreements? Anybody disagreeing? All right, I think we're good. But I really feel bad. Let me catch up with some of the comments real quick. So Unc wrote, a kitten probably cost you $45. This is how y'all are seeing how men think. Man, if you don't go get another cat, no, it's not the same, Unc. Unc, that cat is a member of the family. You can't just get another child. Well, debatable. Unc wrote, I'm sorry. Under the circumstances, I had to pull that Farmer John thing out of the end of the barn and came back with a kitten. Yeah, we would have done like, you know how Meet the Parents, the first Meet the Parents? Oh my God. It's a broad statement about women, that women want it all. Yes, it's a broad statement, Mama Lay. We come on here and we make broad statements all the time. That's what we address, because the only way you can address an issue is by making broad statements. So and this is the thing, Mama Lay, please respond. I didn't hear you say that the statement was wrong. You wrote that it's a broad statement. Yes, it's a broad statement. If I said that Black women are out of shape, would you say it's a broad statement, or would you say that's wrong? Yes, it's a broad statement, but is it wrong? If I said that Black men need to be better leaders, is that a broad statement? Absolutely, it's a broad statement. But you know what else it's true? It's true for the majority of Black men. The only way that we deal with minorities, if you want to solve minority problems, then solve minority problems. What I try to focus on is what what grabs the majority of people. And I understand, and this is just another example of when you say certain things that are true about a certain group of people, they get offended by it. I do not get offended if you say black men ain't this, black men ain't that, if I don't feel like I'm in that category. And if I do feel like I'm in that category, then I'll take the offense and I'll actually do something to improve in that area. We're seeing the issue. You're showing us the issue, Mama Lay. You're showing us the issue. let me see. Mama Lay wrote, they should have got pet insurance. It's really insane about a house versus a cat. It's unrealistic. No comparison. She's being selfish. I agree. But her selfishness, in my opinion, is created by the culture that we live in. It just is what it is. And hold on, let me see. Steve wrote, if that's an adult level decision that he had to make alone, I question his choice in life partners. You are 100% right, Steve. But just like with Dr. Umar, just like with the majority of divorces that we talk about, the majority of divorces that people go through, when you actually talk to them, you sit there and wonder like, oh, you didn't know any about this person before y'all got married. You didn't know that you couldn't stand A, B, and C, but the sex was just great before you got married. You didn't know that the dude was broke before you didn't know. And let me say, before I got married, before you had a kid with them, you didn't know all these things. So you're absolutely right, Steve. If that's an adult level decision that he had to make alone, I question his choice in life partners. The majority of people, that's why everybody's single. And I think what we're missing is the fact that we are simply not compatible. Like, we're not compatible. It doesn't matter if you train a whole bunch of, let's say you're training a basketball team and you train everybody to be a center. You don't train anybody to be a point guard. You don't train anybody to be the shooting guard. You don't train anybody to be a small forward or a power forward. You're just training people to be centers, no matter how tall they are. Now, if you get a whole bunch of centers and you're putting them and you're trying to make they're not compatible to play with each other as a team. We are not raised to be compatible with each other, in my opinion. So that we can sit here and say that we're making bad choices as life partners. When you look at overall, I mean, let's be real. When we have conversations with people and you ask people in their 25, let's say 25 to 45, why aren't you married? Why aren't you in a relationship? Why aren't you having kids? The majority give answers on both sides talking about why women ain't this, why men aren't this. It's very rarely, oh, I just need to just work on some stuff. I just need to become a better communicator. It's very rarely that. It's usually because of all the men or all the women. We are not compatible. We are raising women to be little dudes, and we're raising dudes to be feminized dudes, in my opinion. And it all circles back to that. We are not compatible. So we could sit here and say, you're 100% right, Steve, in my opinion, when it says it's his, I question his life in life choice and partners. But when you look at why most relationships aren't successful, I guess it's the same thing. At a certain point, we got to say, hey, maybe we can make better batches or make us more compatible on both sides. We can have better women, we can have better men, and then we'll have a greater likelihood of being more compatible with each other. Just my opinion. So Uncompetitive wrote, money isn't the problem. Marrying an irrational woman is the problem, and it isn't going away. She will want her sick elderly mother to move in with them when they get the house. All right, so I'm 100% with you. I'm 100% with you. However, in today's society, you're right. Money shouldn't be the problem. I think that's a better. Money shouldn't be the problem. But what do the majority of divorces, like what do people say the majority of divorces happen from? Money, right? Issues with money. Now you could say that, well, money's just the issue that ends up, taking it to the next level, or that's the one that finally set me off to just say, you know what, I'm done with this. But money always seems to come up. Money always seems to come up. Why does money always seem to come up? Look at the world that we live in. We live in a comparison era, a comparison generation. Everything that we do. How many people already opened up their Instagrams today? It's 8:30. We can all agree that it's probably not healthy to jump on Instagram or social media before first thing in the morning. But what did we do? We already scrolled through 100 people's lives about how amazing their weekend was. And now we're comparing our lives to them. So living in a comparative generation or comparative society, when we're comparing each other, why this person can have that life, why that person can have that car, why this person can have this experience, why that can, it all comes down to money in our minds. So I get what you're saying. Money isn't the problem ideally, but it is. I mean, if you have kids, just like you have kids, you got to be able to afford to be able to support them, right? That puts a lot of strain on a relationship when you have kids and you can't afford to put food on the table. It's no different with the other things that we purchase, whether we're purchasing a cat or whether we're purchasing a new car. All right. Unc wrote, but women want it all. They get it all. And there's nothing that men will ever be able to do from the start of time that will change that. grunt groan, no matter what the pain is. Black men just need to be a better yeah. No one can sum up all women or men. There's billions of women. Mama Lay. Nobody is summing up all women or all men. What we're speaking to, it's like, this is the difference. Hold on. When you are a leader of something, when you are leading a team, you have general rules for everybody, right? General rules on the team. You address things that if I'm telling you, if somebody's slacking in one particular area, the majority of coaches, everybody's going to run, because as a team, you win and lose based on everybody moving in the same direction. Team, when you have been in a team environment and you've played on team settings, then you understand, in my opinion, what I'm saying. When you address the majority, you addressed it. So let me ask you this, Mama Lay. Let me ask you this specific question. No one can sum up all women or men. Is it wrong for me to say that Black women are unhealthy? Is it wrong for me to say that Black women are out of shape? Is it wrong for me to say that? Now, what would be a good response? Would a good response be, and see, this is what happens when you have the pandering, emasculated men that we're raising compared to men that are willing to tell the truth and be honest. See, an honest man is going to say exactly what I just said. Yeah, Black women, we have an issue. You have an issue, which means we have an issue. You're out of shape. You're unhealthy. You're obese at higher rates than anybody else on the planet. We need to address it. You know what an emasculated man is going to say? Well, not all Black women. You can't sit here and say all Black. Well, the stats show that 60-something% are, compared to what, 10% of Asian women, 30% of white women, 40% of Hispanic women. But we can't sit here and this is crazy. Oh, now you got to say Black adults? Okay, so Black adult women. I'm sorry. Not No, it's different. And I'm glad that you just said that. Look at the difference between Black. So Maya just sat here and said, no, it's Black adults. It's not Black women. And it's not just Black women. Clearly, Maya wasn't paying attention to the show that we did 3 weeks ago, where we highlighted the statistics showing that Black men actually compare to Hispanic men. And that, look at the difference between Black men and Black women. Black women, the obesity rate is way higher than Black men. It's not Black men. And I'm glad that you pointed that out. But that's just another example.
Non-Hispanic Black adults have the highest prevalency of obesity.
But break it down even further.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, break it down even further. Like that's the lack of accountability. I'm just clowning Maya, but it is what it is. Don't try to throw. I'm clowning. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But this is what happens when, see, people want to get real specific until that's specific. What's the word? Specificity. Until you being specific addresses just you.
No, I don't care.
No, hold on. But I want to, and I know I'm late. Hold on. Let me scroll up. Hold on. Let me see. Yes, because it's inaccurate because the people I know. Oh my God. Are you serious? The people I know are not out of shape, and those stats are inaccurate too because no one has ever knocked on my door. Who is taking these statistics? All right, we're going to have to move on. So because you weren't included in the study, the studies aren't real? Is this how did Donald Trump win the election? Did Joe Biden? I don't know. If they never came to, I don't know if my ballot was casted. They didn't tell me that they checked my ballot specifically. So therefore, I don't know if they won the election. Come on, Mama Lay. Because you weren't included in the study, and you're saying that the people that you know are not out of shape. I don't know what black women you're around, but you should start a group. You should start a group because if the black women and black men that you're around are all in shape, then we should highlight that. Because when I walk around in different areas in Jersey, in Miami, Maya, would you agree that you tend to see, would you say that the black women are looking the same way as the white women?
In Miami or in Jersey?
Let's say Miami.
In Jersey, I think there are a lot more white women and black women that are out of shape. In Miami, it's the opposite. Like, people are just in shape here in general.
So what's the answer?
The white women in Miami are white and Hispanic.
Yo, go to the Bronx and then go to white area. Like, what are we? Let me hold on. See, this is the problem with this. This is the problem. I'm gonna tell you what is true. When I sat down with the mayor of Mount Vernon, which is the blackest city north of the Mason-Dixon line, this is the problem when you. This is why we need men in leadership positions. And I'm just being honest, yo. I'm just being honest because y'all play games. Y'all women play games and don't want to be categorized with everybody else. And it presents a problem. Things never get done that way. I'm going to give you an example. When I went with Mayor Sean in Mount Vernon, the issue was in Mount Vernon, people live 5 years less. 5 years they live less compared to the town right next to them, New Rochelle. Because of heart disease, diabetes, all this other stuff that comes from unhealthy living. See, that's the same area, one town over. But because we can't properly identify a problem and because we want to look at stuff and say, well, my friend group is a little bit different, so that can't be the stats throughout the country. We never end up addressing the actual issue. This is a problem when it comes to accountability, and we talk about it all the time, that black women, yes, I'm categorizing black women, accept the least amount of accountability across the board. And women in general, what do we always say about women in general? Y'all want the power of men, y'all want the privilege of women, and you want the accountability of kids. You want the accountability of kids, the power of men, and the privilege of women. It's so the stats don't matter. So me walking around seeing black women unhealthy, I guess if that's what I see, I should just go off what I see. We got all right. We'll move on. We shall move on. All right. What's the next topic we got? What's the next topic that we got? We need harsh leadership, man. This is damn. All right, let's move on to this. Let's move on to. Should we do Corinne Jean-Pierre first, or we'll do Riley Gaines? I don't know. Let's do Riley Gaines. All right, so. I want to play a couple different videos. For y'all. It's really surprising that we still even have to have this conversation. I'll be totally honest. When it comes to these men playing sports or boys playing sports or boys playing against women in sports or girls in sports. Now I'm not saying all boys are playing sports against girls. I'm just saying a few, right? Okay.
It's Dak.
Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.